Hola a todos. Buenos días y bienvenido a Madrid. Or, to put it another way, how are you doing everybody? Welcome to Madrid. I'm on my jolly holidays and came over for a long weekend and thought that I would show you around the city a little bit. So this morning my intention is to walk around my favourite park in the whole wide world, which is, I hope you can see the entrance there. This is Retiro Park. So I'm going to take you on a little tour of Retiro Park, show you some of my favourite sites there, and maybe give you some ever so slightly dubious facts to go with them. So let's start off here. This is the artificial mountain. It's just a little mound that was created in 1815 by, well, I don't suppose he did it himself, but by Alfonso VII, who was one of the kings. It's, as it says, it's an artificial, just an artificial mound, with underneath it's got this exhibition hall, which I've never seen open. I'm sure from time to time they have exhibitions, exhibits and things in there, but I don't live in Madrid. I just come to visit, and any time I've come to visit, that's been shut. There's different ways to get up this artificial mountain. You can come up the steps, or there are some little paths round the back and so on. The view from the top is usually pretty good, especially on a day like this. It's not even 10 o'clock yet and already it's in the high 20s. If it was like this at home in the middle of the day or late in the day, we'd be really happy, but it's only set to get hotter here today. There's some lovely waterfalls and things. We're going to take a look down here later.
Todo lo que dije, no me importa cuando me mira con esa maldad. No ves que a mí no me asusta, puedo ser injusta. Si vos me venís a buscar, sabes que no me someteré a la tentación. Nadie más hace que yo sienta esa química, tensión sexual. En la disco quiero tu morisco, gatando la disco.
So, that's the artificial mountain. Nice way to start it off. I must say, Retiro is one of my favourite places in the whole world, and I've not been to all the world, but I've been to quite a few countries now on my diving trips and various adventures, but yeah, I love Retiro Park. It's just one of those places, you know. Anyway, let's go for a wander.
Nos atrapan para escapar, tenemos la excusa perfecta. A esa vida de crimen yo me someto, es un tatuaje mío, te lo prometo. Si eso condena, hagámoslo en secreto, rapemos las rodillas en el cemento. En la disco quiero tu modisco, cantando la disco, dame en la disco.
Can you hear those birds? I'm not that scary, am I?
Todo lo que dije, no me importa cuando me mira con esa maldad. No ves que a mí no me asusta, puedo ser injusta. Si vos me venís a buscar, sabes que no me someteré a la tentación. Nadie más hace que yo sienta esa química, tensión sexual. En la disco quiero tu morisco, cantando la disco, dame en la disco, dame la disco.
Anyway, when I'm putting this video together, I'm going to sort of stitch in bits. It's not going to be in any particular order, so when I'm walking between places, that might not be in the order that I'm walking around the park, but it'll be nice to just show you around anyway. See you at the next bit. So this is the Casita del Pescador, which basically means little fisherman's house. I love all the dragons and creatures and so on all over it. Quite beautifully painted and decorated for a fisherman's house. So why is a fisherman's house in the middle of the park? I've no idea, but I could make up a dubious fact that when Alfonso VII had the park made for him, and they had all these beautiful ponds with fish in them, they needed someone to fish one out every evening for his supper. So they built a nice house for the pescador to live in. And since he was the king's pescador, then it had to be a beautiful house. Is that true? Probably not, James. Just stop making stuff up.
Juntos nos podríamos condenar, cometamos una tragedia, y si nos atrapan para escapar, tenemos la excusa perfecta. A esa vida de crimen yo me someto, es un tatuaje mío, te lo prometo.
As I've said, this is not in any particular order. There's probably a wee bit of walking footage in between the Casita de Pescador and now. But actually, just across the way from that are the ruins of the Church of Saint Isidore. Is it Isidore? Of Avila. Saint Isidora of Avila. Now, I'm no architect or historian, but looking at these ruins, looks to me like it may have been made and remade a couple of times, because there seems to be different styles of brickwork and building and so on there. Not really sure if you're supposed to do this, but let's have a closer look. That's quite lovely, isn't it?
En secreto rapemos las rodillas en el cemento. En la disco quiero tu modisco, oh, cantando la disco, oh, 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 dame en la disco, oh, dame la disco, oh. Tú da fontana si que eres fanático, bajando en la pista sudando alcohol, me está esperando el corazón, bailamos que parece un delito. Bailamos que parece un delito. Sí, soy presa de esta mala decisión con la navaja en corazón. No puedo ya más curarlo. Yeah. Somos.
So we're just coming up now on the Rose Garden, which is kind of the opposite end of the park to where I started. Yeah, this is a lovely wee rose garden. I hope there's some flowers out in bloom, although I'm not a gardener, just like I'm not a historian. But Yeah, this place always reminds me of the rose gardens in the middle of Regent's Park. So when we go in, I'll show you around. There's two fountains in here, one of a fawn and one of Cupid. So we're going to see the one of the fawn first, and then we'll wander around, have a look at some flowers, and then we'll have a look at the one of Cupid. Here's what it looks like. Looks like some of the roses are in bloom, but not all of them. This is such a popular spot that it's going to be difficult to film without having everybody else in, but we'll give it a go.
Todo lo que dije, no me importa cuando me mira con esa maldad. No ves que a mí no me asusta, puedo ser injusta. Si vos me venía a buscar, sabes que no me someteré a la tentación. Nadie más hace que yo sienta esa química, tensión sexual. En la disco quiero tu morisco, cantando la disco.
So, if Madrid is my favourite city and Retiro is my favourite park, this here is my favourite statue. This is Madrid's statue of the fallen angel. I can't remember when it was made, obviously a long time ago, but it's a statue of the angel Lucifer, who fell down from heaven. We commonly know him as the devil. Yeah, I think Madrid is probably the only city that I've been to where they have a statue dedicated to the devil. But this statue was inspired by some lines from Paradise Lost by John Milton. I've never read that. I must get round to reading it at some point to see if I can work out how did they make the statue from the poem. But if you look at it, you'll see Lucifer, he's sort of fallen down. You can see he's trying to hide his shame and so on. And at the bottom there are some demons and gargoyles and things. Let's see if we can take a closer look. So there's old Nick at the top there. Got a serpent round his legs and he's covering his face up. And round the bottom here we've got horrible demons hanging on to some fish. Let's go round the side a little bit. So I'm not sure why this statue has always fascinated me, but ever since I started coming to Madrid, maybe 20 odd years ago, I've always been really interested in this one. I've got 1,001 photographs that I've taken of it. Let's hope this video does it some justice. Yeah, cracking statue of Lucifer. We're coming down now through a little walkway that I always love to take when I'm here in Retiro. Nice little pond lake thing. Looks like there's a turtle just over there in it, basking. And there's another one, don't know whether you can see it on the video or not, just down here, just under the surface, there's a turtle there. Something that's always fascinated me with Madrid and Paris as well, I found a little park there, is that you can have parks with turtles and fish and so on in them. That would never ever happen in London or in Britain. I don't know why, I guess people seem to think they probably get nicked or something. So, just along from that beautiful wee park, we have, just behind me, the Crystal Palace and the fountain. So this was built deliberately to look like the Crystal Palace in London. And it's now used from time to time by the Museum of Reina Sofia to host modern art exhibitions and so on. It seems to be closed today, there's nothing on there, but it's always fun to go and have a look around. And at the lake behind me, again, there's always plenty of fish and turtles and things, so let's go and see what we can see. There's also a little cave with a waterfall running over it, so I'll see if I can get some footage of that too.
Con la navaja en corazón, no puedo ya más curarlo, yeah. Somos un asesinato a la razón, yo me quedaré hasta que vos no puedas ya más soltarme. Todo lo que dije, todo lo que dije yo, todo lo que dije, todo.
Okay, so here behind me we have the Palacio de Velázquez, and that was built in 1881 to 83 I think, and it's now used by, again, the Reina Sofia, just like the other one was, just like the Crystal Palace, for modern art exhibitions. Currently there's an exhibition by an artist called James Byers from America, and I'll pop some photos of his work up now. So those were some photos of what you can see in the current exhibition. Interesting one is the sphere made of roses, because apparently it changes over time. It started off bright red, and then as the season changes the roses will wither and the colour will change. Anyway, let's have a quick look as we go past the Palace of Velázquez. I love particularly the two griffins, are they? Flying lions? Beautifully decorated front end. I hope you're getting the reasons why, as I said, Retiro is my favourite park in the whole wide world. Beautiful, isn't it? This is the artichoke fountain. You'll see why when you have a look at the top there. And the two figures, I believe the one on the left is Neptune, not sure of the name of the one on the right, but they're holding the coat of arms of Madrid, the bear and the tree. Lovely fountain. Let's keep moving. And that brings us over here to the boating lake, which is a great place just to hang out and watch the people. Again, more turtles, and in here they've got huge carp swimming around the pond. And as you can see, folks out and about boating on the lake, having fun. On the one hand, I would say, you know, in Hyde Park the Serpentine's a bit bigger for boating on, but then in Hyde Park the weather's not usually as good as it is here in Madrid, and also they don't have the turtles and the huge carp to look at. Let's see if we can find some. There you go. Usually if you hang out around the side of the lake, you can see some of the carp. There's one just here, coming to eat the scraps that the people are putting in. The water's looking a wee bit cloudy, but every now and then you might see something come up to grab some bread and so on. There you go, there's one there. Spuriously dubious fact coming up. Obviously this was the king's boating pond. He put it in so that when he was bored running the country, he could just come out and take his boat out for a wee paddle. Look at the size of those fish. Okay, so this is the monument to Alfonso XII. You can tell I'm a racing fan, can't you? Alfonso XII. It looks as if it was made years and years ago, but actually this monument was made in 1922, so it's much more modern than it actually looks. Excuse the wonky camera angles, I've had to change to my phone because the battery has died in the DJI. One thing I do remember from my previous experiences here, these railings behind me, people used to do that thing where they put on locks, you know, with inscribed their initials of them and their fiancés or their boyfriends and girlfriends, and the railings used to be absolutely covered in locks, but as you can see they've tidied that all up now. Progress. Anyway, see you soon.
Bailamos que parece